papers now, see what the headlines are. And I have with me in the studio public affairs commentator, Shijibumi Adebi Bennett, and political technocrat, Dr. Dayo Kayode. Gentlemen, good morning, and nice to see you.
Good morning, brother. How are you?
Well, we're fine.
How's the weekend?
It's a great Monday morning, I must say.
Yeah, great Monday morning.
All right. Let's hit it running. News Direct is where we start from this morning. Let's see what News Direct says. Insecurity. Olakunrin's death makes reactions as federal government plans to deploy soldiers on highway. You find that on the front page of the News Direct. And where are the cows of herdsmen who killed Fasoranti's daughter? Tinubu is quoted as asking that question. And nowhere is safe again. The Christian Association of Nigeria is saying that. Okay, from the News Direct, let's go to Blueprints now. Let's go to Blueprint. It says, killing of Fasoranti's daughter, community policing will end our security woes. Osinbajo is saying that, was quoted as saying that. And enough of killings in southwest Oni, the Oni of Ife, is quoted as saying that. And don't politicize Olakunrin's death. Tinubu is also quoted as saying that. Federal government overwhelmed. Professor Wole Soyinka is the one saying that. All right, let's start with these papers right now. Gentlemen, the issue of security challenges generally has been brought to the fore in a very new dimension with the killing of the daughter of the leader of Afenifere, where they're saying that it's an outright case of assassination. And police are still investigating, as the case may be. But now we're hearing, at least on the front page of the News Direct, that says mixed reaction as federal government plans to deploy soldiers on highway. I wonder how that comes to you, Dr. Kayode. Let me start with you on this.
Number one, I wouldn't believe that it is an assassination wherever there. Rather, the same scenario of killing that we have been seeing. And it's a pity that up till now, they have not been able to arrest one person who have been perpetrating all these things within our political space.
But in a situation where, nothing was stolen from the car, and if it was a kidnap, like it used to be in some of the cases, she would have been taken.
You should listen to one of the eyewitnesses there who said that they wanted to kidnap her. And in a way to resist that kidnapping, she was killed. I don't know whether you are privy to that statement. And then let us now come to deploying military on the highway. I want to say that one is reactionary. But when you now deploy military to the highway, I'm telling you, it's going to be another story again. By just using one system to see that we stop a problem and then creating another problem.
How would that create any other problem?
Because by the time you deploy military to the highways, you know the way military people behave. You know the kind of training they have. That is one. Two, who are those military you are going to deploy on the highway?
It's the Nigerian military.
Nigerian military. Sorry if I might bring this thing up to you this morning.
Okay.
When you say Nigerian military, look at the signal of Nigerian military. Can you read what is written there? Does that make it Nigeria? It's a big question that we need to ponder upon. So sometimes when people are saying Nigerian military, I still wonder how. Yeah, we might be having all the Nigerian tribes and all whatever there, but when you are now describing it, can you, as a person, read what is written on that a signal of Nigerian military?
Well,
it's a big question.
Yeah, but all those are symbolism where we feel it's a debate that we have to maybe leave for another day.
Exactly. Just but because when you say Nigerian military, that's why I bring it out.
Yeah,
to
but that doesn't stop it from being Nigerian military. Shijibumi, I wonder what you make of a plan to deploy soldiers or the military on the roads for security. Because right now we have heard that the military is already overstretched.
No matter how overstretched, I think it's a short-term solution to it. In pondering or providing solutions to any challenge, you have the short-term, you have the mid-term, and the long-term approach to it. This is a short-term approach to it. The long-term approach to it is what everybody is running away from, and which Professor Osinbajo stylishly and subtly also talked about, which is community policing hurt some people state policing.
But even in the short term that you talked about, I wonder how effective this short-term measure will even be, because the point there is, a lot of people have said that if the way the military is, we have military in more than 25 states of the Federation carrying out different assignments for security.
Yes, Mike, but desperate times and desperate situations have to be, treated and attract desperate measures. And in as much as we can say these people are overstretched, you still see some of them in the barracks, doing their march past every morning. So we still have some people to use anyway. And because of the enormity and the seriousness of this situation, I think we have to do something about it. The only challenge I have is my condolences to the family of the Fasoranti, but do we have to wait till someone very popular or someone that has a name dies before we take measures that we're supposed to have taken? That place that those people assemble is the Ondo State Forest Reserve. There have been reports that these people have been there for 2 years.
The forest reserve is owned by government.
By government. Now, and there have been reports that they've been there for 2 years, and there have been reports to the police stations around that axis. There have been confrontations with them. The people they have said they've gathered vigilante groups to always check when these people are coming so that they can guide their own communities. So I think when we have punitive measures, enough one on ground, then people will take up their responsibility, because the police stations that those reports have been made for the past 2 years have DPOs. So by now, maybe those DPOs and the dates of those reports and the DPOs in charge in those times should have been, chased out. So these are the things we need to do so that the next person that's coming there knows that the next time I get a report like that, is either I act on it or within my capability, or I send to the government if I think I cannot do anything about it.
All right. Dr. Kayode, we have been waiting for 12 Super Tucano aircrafts coming from the U.S. to fight insurgency and fight the different kinds of insecurity and all of that. Maybe until then, we just have to be experiencing this.
I've been saying it times without number. Before the arrival of these Tucano, even when you are bringing in all these Tucano, are you using it to fight all these little insurgents? These are little insurgents that all you need to do is to deploy drones. And then be proactive.
Drones were deployed in Ekiti stroke on those states by the military.
You see, let me tell you this. There are some decisions we take that it has weight. Well, there are some decisions we take that can just be vacuous, like that. Do you understand? Without holding water. The issue is this. Look at what Shijibobi just said now. Reports have been made severally about these people in that forest. And this is a forest that you also have forest guards. What have they done about all those reports? Not until when a big man's this thing is now being struck, you are now talking about. And some people are now saying, okay, you are saying they are Fulani Herdsmen. Where are their cows? Do they need to show you their cows before you know that they are the people? But you see,
you can't be sure.
The conspiracy theory behind it. Let me tell you this.
But the police are investigating. They are on right now. But the issue there is no one has been caught. So you cannot say that they are of this stock or of the other stock.
Let me tell you this. Not until when we are sincere about the emergence of these people, you won't be able to solve this problem. There is what we call emergence of these people. And when we trace it, we know through who and who these people entered this country, because we have had series of information. The former VC of Amadou Bello, I was reading his interview just last night. He was saying Fulani people everywhere, they always support each other, especially when
Dr. Kayode,
if I may something,
the use of Fulani in this case may be may not be in proper place.
Why?
Because the issue there is you have not had the proof that they are responsible.
But we have had series of attacks like
the
this.
series of attacks are isolated. They are different. They are not necessarily linked. The security agencies have not come out to say
I don't know whether you
linked.
listen to all those people that survived this attack. I don't know whether you listen to them, what they said, that they are Fulani people. Did you listen to them? Those that saw them, the eyewitnesses.
Yes, but until we have also had cases where people dressed in Fulani, dressed to say they were herdsmen, they were Fulani, were arrested, and they were not Fulanis. We have had those cases. So how do you reconcile that? Except the agencies investigate and come out to say, okay, these people are this or the other person, or this person's name is this or this person's name is that. We need to be careful so we don't, you know, Shijibomi.
It's very quickly. I want to say that this profiling is dangerous. Femi Falana said something, that 30% of the kidnapping in the Southwest is because of those that have been arrested, tend to be Fulanese. But that the remaining 70% are our people, is on social media. And that there is ritual killing behind the remaining 70%. Right. And I saw something, BBC Yoruba. And the man that was arrested May last year, even when he was kidnapped, a lecturer of the Afe Babalola University in Ado Ekiti was killed. That's the Jebu Ijesha Ekiti Road. And the guy said, people are involved. I had people speaking Yoruba coming to negotiate for body part. It's a BBC Yoruba report. It's not my report.
How about the professor of University of Ife?
Yes, that's what we're saying. It's mixed. There are a lot, criminals don't have tribes.
Exactly.
Then I've had so many, Bini or a road for a long time, even before this advent of a particular, people saying a particular tribe. They have been kidnapping on that road. And finally, see, when there is crime, let us focus on the crime. I don't think in the Nigerian society and the government and the whole Nigeria as a people are really looking at the underlying factor behind this wickedness. There is wickedness in the land. Just yesterday, or 2 days ago, in Cross River State, just 2 communities within a state, some communities came to another, some people from a community came to another, lined up a father and son in their farm, and in the presence of the wife, they beheaded both, just because of land dispute. These people are of the same tribe. So, and a lot of that, Jukun and TV, after we have eliminated the clashes, farmers and herdsmen clashes there, they've started. So the value
anyway,
for life,
that we understand that has been put, put to rest now with the Joint Commission of the 2 states.
The value for life has really gone down. So we have to, what are the major causes of these things? So those are the things we have to look at. We have to fish out criminals and deal with them.
All right, deal with them as criminals. All right, thank you very much, Shijibomi Adebi Bennett, for your insight. Dr. Kayode, thank you also for your insight. Thank you so much. Yeah. Right.
First this morning, joining me in the studio, public affairs commentator Shijibomi Adebi Bennett and political technocrat Dr. Dayo Kayode are here. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good morning. Good to have you join us. Let's just dive straight in. We begin with Vanguard. It's leading with the Olakunrin killing. Soldiers may have to patrol highways. That's according to the vice president. He says economic gain responsible for a spate of kidnapping. Nigeria descending into anarchy. Ohaneze, Asiwaju Tinubu is also quoted there as saying, don't stigmatize herdsmen. As Fasoranti family, Ondo CP disagree on the nature of the killings. Fish out perpetrators of Olakunrin's killings, Senate tells IGP. Blueprint is next. Still leading with the Fasoranti, the daughter of Pa Fasoranti, who was killed over the weekend. Community policing will end our security woes. Osinbajo is speaking there. Enough of killings in Southwest. That's according to Olusegun Oni. The Nation is next. The Nation also has some picture stories now. Professor Osinbajo is pictured there consoling Chief Fasoranti yesterday, as well as party leaders from the APC and the Secretary to the Ondo State government, also there at the Fasoranti family home. Also, troops for roads to stop killing, says Osinbajo, as well as Oshoyinka saying herdsmen erode government's gains. We'll move on now to News Direct, which says insecurity, Olakunrin's death, mixed reactions as FG plans to deploy soldiers on highway. Where are the cows of herdsmen who killed Fasoranti's daughter? Asiwaju Tinubu asks. Nigerian Tribune is next. Insecurity is the lead story there. FG puts military, DSS, police on red alert. Soldiers to patrol highways. IGP drafts team to the south. However, there's a story up there that says Nigeria's refineries gulp $5.178 billion in 25 years. That's according to investigation, and capacity utilization also stalls at 20.66%. The Guardian. Yoruba split over killing of Fasoranti's daughter. Southwest will not take more herdsmen attacks, Oni warns. Perpetrators may not be cattlemen, according to Tinubu. Can PDP youth knock Buhari on insecurity? Ohaneze, also speaking out, warns of looming national crisis. That's in The Guardian. This Day is next. Osinbajo says FG to deploy military in highways to stem insecurity. Adoke is quoted up there as saying how I was framed up with fake tape over OPL 245. To Daily Sun now, insecurity is still topping the stories there. FG deploys soldiers in highways. Senate expresses fears, urges overhaul of security architecture. Soldiers abscond with GOC's millions. That's in the Daily Trust, our final paper for this session. 2 arrested as army begins investigation. All right, that's it for the papers. Really sad one there, gentlemen, talking about the Olakunrin killing. But a lot has been said. Just so we can also see other stories now and get some feel about the stories. Let's talk about Dr. Kayode now about this refineries. It's coming on the at a time when we have a new helmsman heading the state-oil firm NNPC, and then he has also said that in 4 years' time he will work on all those refineries and get them running. Now we're seeing huge losses. What's your perspective?
You see, we should stop hiding under one finger when we're talking about this refinery issue. Between you and me, it is a deliberate act by the leadership to unleash hardship, hunger, poverty on the people so that they can continue to perpetuate their oligarchical hegemony upon us. How do I mean? If you look at the research there, how much they are spent on our refineries, why then is our refineries not working? Whose pocket has this money gone to? Now, let us even forget about refinery. Each time they want to increase pump prices, they say, look, we want to do this, we want to do that, and all that. At the end of the day, do they? All those things they're talking about, do we have them? Even if you're now saying these refineries are too big for us to maintain and all that, at the inception of this government, they were talking about modular refinery. The other time when the vice president went to South and Southeast to go and meet them because of all sort of vandalization that were happening there then, he said, okay, look, we're going to involve you in establishing series of modular refineries in Nigeria. Kemi, how long does it take to build a modular refinery? Under 6 months. So
lip service in
now they have
let
given,
me run along.
Okay.
Let me run that idea or your position along with Shijibomi. What's your take now? 5.178 billion naira. How avoidable could this loss have been to you?
It's it's saddening, and we can, if we start to talk about all these things, we won't leave it today. 5.7, 5.6 billion dollars is like 2 trillion naira. So that's a quarter of the national budget. Just for, though it's over a long
It's not just within one period, right?
Yes, it's over a long period of time. But when results have not been seen, the time even does not matter because you keep spending without getting result. So if those monies were pumped into the educational sector, the health sector, or other sector, even into infrastructure, we will see tangible returns. So those are the things we need to talk about. So what's the way forward? Should we just continue to pump money into these refineries? Should we just continue to come and analyze about them? No.
Okay, that said, I want the two of you to also address the issue of, are we not even within around one man now, the solution to, getting all our refineries up and running? Should we have a national plan instead of a private plan, as we see in this all eyes on Dangote refinery now?
The thing is, you see, there is no time we've not been having national plan. But it's just a pity that all these national plans we've been having have been jettisoned. Or like in the past, when we have 5-year national plan, 10-year national plan, 15 and all that. But you can now see what I was saying the other time. Our petroleum industry has now been weaved around one single person. Instead of us to diverse the whole thing among some other people, what we're now going to see at the end of the day is what we call monopolistic market as regards having this thing now weaved around one person.
All right, that said, what's your take, Shijibomi?
I think the way to go is privatization. The 4 refineries in Nigeria cannot be handled by the government. It's obvious. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. So let's privatize those refineries. Because in as much as we can talk about leadership, failure in leadership and all that, NNPC is like a cult. No matter the person that comes in,
Yeah.
no matter the president you have,
Yeah.
even the way the activities are shrouded in secrecy, you can never get into it.
No.
This new guy can
No
always
outsider
try.
can come in.
No.
Yes, this new guy can always try, but he was one of them. He has been one of them for a while. So Rob, just scratch on the surface at the results you are going to get. So. But I think, like former Minister for State for said, Ibe Kachuku, that they have to encourage Dangote. For once, that's the short-term solution. So let's encourage him. Let him come on board. Then so that we even get off all those demurrages, all those tariffs, so that we can even have the 145 as a standard. Because when you don't export crude and import refined petrol, all those shipping and extraneous costs will be off it. So we can still have 145 as a standard. Then we look at how we can prioritize our refineries.
Well said. Now on this issue, of course, the discussion continues. Well, because of time, we cannot, make any more progress. Thank you very much, Dr. Kayode.
Kemi, pleasure.
Bennett.
Thank you for having me.
To the papers now, see what the headlines are. And I have with me in the studio public affairs commentator Shijibomi Adebi Bennett, as well as political technocrat Dr. Dayo Kayode. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Because China has their own plans, they plan ahead.
Oh,
they're
yeah,
always very, they are not reactive like us. Rather,
Okay.
they are proactive.
They're proactive.
They are proactive.
Maybe Nigeria can learn from that.
Yeah.
Let's start from the Vanguard newspaper now, looking at the papers this morning. Vanguard is where we start from. Olakunrin is killing. Soldiers may have to patrol highways. Osinbajo is saying that. That's the vice president. Says economic gain responsible for a spate of kidnapping. Nigeria descending into anarchy. Ohanes Ndibo is saying that. And don't stigmatize herdsmen. Tinubu is saying that. As Fasoranti family, Ondo CP disgrace on nature of killers. And fish out perpetrators of Olakunrin's killing, Senate tells IGP. You find that on the front page of the Vanguard. Blueprint now says killing of Fasoranti's daughter, community policing will end our security woes. Osinbajo is saying that. And enough of killings in Southwest. Oni of Ife is saying that. And don't politicize Olakunrin's death. Tinubu is saying that. And federal government overwhelmed. Wole Soyinka is saying this. Let's move now to the Nation newspaper. The Nation is where we go next now. Troops for roads to stop killings, says Osinbajo. Soyinka, herdsmen erode government's gains, and Tinubu seeks end to security woes. You find all that on the front page of the Nation newspaper. All right, let's go now to the News Direct. That's where we go next. Insecurity, Olakunrin's death, mixed reactions as federal government plans to deploy soldiers on highways. And where are the cows of herdsmen who killed Fasoranti's daughter? Tinubu is said to be asking that. And nowhere is safe again. Christian Association of Nigeria is commenting on that. Let's move now to the Nigerian Tribune. Insecurity, federal government puts military, DSS, police on red alert. And soldiers to patrol highways, IGP drafts team to the south. Okay, you find that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune. The Guardian is next now. Yoruba split over killing of Fasoranti's daughter. The Southwest won't take more herdsmen attacks, only once. And perpetrators may not be cattlemen, says Tinubu. And can PDP youth knock Buhari on insecurity? Ohaneze warns of looming national crisis, and Osinbajo is hopeful. You find all that on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Let's move now to this day. This day is saying Osinbajo, federal government to deploy military in highways to stem insecurity. You find all that on the front page of this day newspaper. Daily Sun is our next now. Insecurity, federal government deploys soldiers in highways. Community policing coming soon, pledges Osinbajo. Senate expresses fears, urges overhaul of security architecture. You find that on the front page of the Daily Sun. All right. Let's move now to Daily Trust. Soldiers abscond with GOC's millions. 2 arrested as army begins investigation. All right, this story broke out during the weekend, and it was mind-boggling to a lot of people who have been following. Okay, gentlemen, soldiers on the highway is one of the major issues on the front pages this morning. But I'd like us to look at it from the new perspective the Vice President is looking at, saying that state police might be the way to go when it comes to issues of the long term, like Shijibumi was analyzing at a time. Now, the issue of state police has been on the front burner for quite some time now. I wonder how challenging it will be to, commence that or trigger that aspect of things. Dr. Kayode, let me start with you on this.
Now, you see, I've always been looking at what we call state police as the same thing as what we call vigilante.
Will they be the same thing?
Look at it. there are, if you look at these vigilantes very well, they work in consonance with the police within their environment. For instance, there are some of them that they always give license to carry light firearms. And when they apprehend hoodlums within the neighborhood, they always hand them over to the police. But when we are agitating for state police, there are better ways in which we can address this,
all right,
which I think I have been explaining all of the time. When you look at the structure of the police, all the states are there. There is no state in this country that are not having indigents within the police. Let's say, for instance, Ekiti State, where I come from. Let the commissioner of police in Ekiti be an Ekiti man. Let the area commander be an Ekiti man. Then maybe half of the DPO be an Ekiti man. These people knows the in and out of the terrain of that place.
So you are advocating that we maintain the structure but does indigenize?
Yes, sort of.
All right.
Okay. Because if you now say
we're
state police,
still going to have the challenge.
At the end of the day, politicians,
we're still going to have,
we hijack it.
Dr. Kayode, we're still going to have the challenge of constitutionality when it comes to the chain of
and that
command.
That is where restructuring comes in.
Yes, but let me come to Shijibumi on this. The point there is, this issue has become a little debate here and there, but more Nigerians by the day are coming to agree that I think state police is the best way to go now, and it has to be done fast.
Yes, it's an inevitable thing. There's no way we keep, trying to evade it, overlook it, but it's something we have to do. Now, and it can be experimented.
All right.
And I think on another platform, I've explained how that can be. We have the mobile police force, the MOPO, and they are under area commanders in states. Their duty is for anti-riot. Then, initially, that was what they were called out to do. That was why they had better training than the average...
A military-like kind of...
A military-like training than the average policeman.
Right.
And we now left the duties of criminal investigation, which the CID unit and other day-to-day official running of the police to the black and black in those days. Now, can't we have those formations to be under the control of the state governors?
You mean the MOPO?
The MOPO, or something like that. In the US, you have, the people they call forest reserve guards, you have
metropolitan police,
the forest guards, and you have all. Yeah. So we can have a particular formation under that control so that you don't have to get to Abuja, especially in fighting insurgency, in fighting crimes like, all these clashes.
All right.
So that
within the states.
Within the state.
All right.
So that's very important. We can experiment with that, then gradually devolve the powers into more formations.
All right. Well, maybe the government will listen to this. And I know they have their strategies as well. We have to leave it here now. Shijibumi Adibi Bennett, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Dr. Dayo Kayode, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Right.